Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This is video 2 in our Strong Inside and Out series. This video is called Training with Weights On. As you may have noticed, I'm wearing something a little bit different today. Some of you may recognize it right away, and some of you may have no clue what it is. So let me just say that it is a 8-pound weighted vest. They make them in different weights, and basically you just, you wear it while doing your regular exercises, and so it's building that strength and such. And kind of this idea of maybe you've seen people training for, let's say, like football, and the coach has weights strapped to their ankles while they run and do their exercises, right? And so the idea of that is that when game day comes, right, and they don't have the weights on their feet, they're going to run, they're going to excel, because it's going to be like nothing for them, because they did those same activities for that length of time with extra weight attached to them, right? And so in that same way, as we train physically, God trains us spiritually, right? Game day is coming. We're not trained to the battle's not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. And so he's training us for bigger things, right? For better things. And so, in that same way, God trains us. Sometimes we're in points of our life where, we're limping. It feels like we're limping to the finish line, and like we have a ball and chain attached to us, or, all this weight on us. And then God just keeps adding more things for us to do, and more things for us to carry, and more things for us to go through. And we're to that point where we're like, God, what are you doing? And I've been there before, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to say that sometimes it can just be hard to, exercise, do my exercises with my own weight, right? Maybe you're saying, yeah, why on earth would I put an 8-pound vest or a 25-pound vest on me? I can hardly, exercise with my own body weight. And so sometimes it's hard spiritually in the supernatural the same way, right? It's hard to just make it through the normal stuff that we have going on without carrying more weight, right? And I get that. I totally get that. And just recently, within the past 3 or 4 years, I passed through a very, 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 very tough time in my life, and to the point where I felt like I was limping through life, limping to the finish line. And while I'm limping with this, quote unquote hurt foot, that, and I mean spiritually, not literally, that God was adding more, and more just kept coming, and more, and some of it was the enemy, but God was allowing those things to come into my life. And I'm like, what do you want from me? Not even with respect. I hate to admit that, but not even with respect, asking the Lord, what do you want from me? I'm tired. You see me, I'm limping. I'm barely breathing here, and you keep adding more things. And so maybe you're there too, and you can totally relate to what I'm saying right now. This message is for you. And so God answered me that night. He spoke over me and gave me a dream. And he said, I want you to run and not be weary. I want you to walk and not faint. And I knew that was a scripture, right? And so we're going to read part of that passage here in a minute. But then I had a dream where I was in this store, and my dad was there, who represents my Father in heaven, and the enemy was also there. And I had this hurt foot. I guess I had just had a major surgery on it, right? Which reflects what I just told you, that this event in my life was really making me limp, everywhere I needed to go, okay? And I had some time to recover. Well, the enemy was there watching me, seeing how I was getting along with a hurt foot. And at first I was stumbling around, I was limping, I was tired, it was hard. But towards the end of that dream, I was leaping, I was running, even with a hurt foot. And you know how sometimes in dreams you're up off the ground like this far? I was, in other words, I was overcoming. God was showing me that I was overcoming, okay? And so he trains us with weights on, just like we physically train with weights on. And so that when we reach game day, right, and the weights are off, we're going to run and not be weary. We're going to walk and not faint, okay? So obviously our passage of scripture is from Isaiah 40. And we're going to start in verse 28. And it says, have you not known, and have you not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, neither faints nor is weary. And he wants us to be the same. He's training us and raising us up to be the same as him, right? to look like our daddy in heaven, okay? His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases strength. And sometimes we want God to snap his fingers and just give us strength, and sometimes he does do that. But other times he looks down like any good coach and he says, I need you to build some muscle in that area, right? And so he straps the weights on to us. He allows certain things to come into our life because he sees a day that's coming when it's game day and those weights are going to be taken off of us, and we're going to overcome. We're going to leap over a wall, right? We're going to walk and not be weary, as we're going to see here in a second. He says, even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young man shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Okay, so that's what it means spiritually to train with weights on. And if this video touched you, God bless you. I've been there. I know exactly what it's about. And before I even started recording, I prayed for everybody that would view this. And so I look forward to seeing you next Friday. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever it is. And I will see you next week. God bless.